Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. The main word that comes to mind for me is wow. They really did an amazing job, not only doing justice to the book, but the entire series with this movie. They wrapped it up beautifully, and I was honestly ready to come away with a lot of really big discrepancies and problems, but I only had a couple of little things here and there. Honestly, overall, I can see a lot of the changes that they made. I understand why they did that. The only, I'd say, difference that really kind of stuck out to me was probably at the beginning when they had Prim come in and talk to the disoriented PETA. And I didn't really get that because, honestly, he's programmed to kill Katniss. And I would think, and along those lines, her sister would be kind of a trigger point for him. But, okay, I get why they did it in relation to the movie, to their budget, I'm sure, to not bring in another, character or whatever. But in the book, it was Deli. It was not Prim. Oh, and if you are watching this, as my title and the details state, there are spoilers ahead if you have not read the book. But I am going to say this. While you don't have to read the book, I do suggest it, because honestly there are so many things in this movie, in particular this one, the last one, that are just, you not only catch but appreciate when it comes to reading the book. Honestly, I do know one thing that I kind of wish that they would have done, though, was focus a little more on the coldness and the biting remarks that PETA made towards Katniss, because honestly that was one of the turning points that we got to see another side of PETA. Yes, he was hijacked, but I really think that was nonetheless another evolution and another level of him and Katniss's relationship. Yes, it was messed up, but to me that was another, getting to another level, because we did see another side of him, and it was kind of like, okay, yeah, it's messed up what he's saying, but at the same time, it was almost necessary in certain areas, in my opinion. I know one thing that I actually did also want to see was, I was hoping to see Coin say to Katniss when she was in the hospital, we've saved him for you, talking about President Snow. I was kind of hoping to see that little part, but, it's just a small thing. I just like I was hoping to see the wedding cake that PETA did. But again, this is a small little nitpicky thing for me personally. And another thing, I also really wanted to see PETA compliment Tigress, because it was a small little thing in the book when he complimented her about how she's a good stylist. And, oh my God, the woman that played Tigress in the movie did an amazing job bringing that character from the page to the screen. It was really cool. I mean, she didn't have a huge role in this movie, but it was striking what she did have, for sure. Another thing that I did notice, I honestly felt like a lot of this, it was not rushed, but it was almost condensed, and they were really going against time, which is interesting considering there wasn't, this wasn't a huge book, and they did break it into 2 movies. So I thought that was really interesting that when I was watching the movie, I didn't feel that any scenes dragged on forever. I thought that certain things were kind of condensed and kind of rushed, but not to the point where it was bad. So there was like this give and take there, in my opinion. I thought it moved really well. It moved at a good clip as far as I'm concerned, and they managed to really get everything in there that they really needed to get in there. I did find it a teensy bit unbelievable how she made it to District 2. As we know, she healed from her ribs, and she went through the training, and she had to, before that, go to Coin and be like, I want to be on the team. And in the movie, she just kind of slips onto a carrier and then plops onto the team, and I'm like, well, that's not really totally believable considering the fact that she's the Mockingjay. They would watch her all the time. I really don't believe that she could just hop on a carrier and be like, hey guys, I'm here. But, again, I know why they did that time-wise for the movie, I'm sure. Another thing that I really enjoyed is the fact that they stayed very true to the written source material, meaning they actually had a lot of the main things that each of these characters, you know, said that you remember from the book. Like, they stayed with it, true to the book. And, you know, I really loved that. They really stayed true to the source material. So I really appreciate that personally. I know that I personally teared up at the Prim scene. That was really sad. And honestly, in the book, when Katniss accepts that Prim is gone and she's with Buttercup, that part kills me every time. And, you know, they playing that out in the movie really, you know, was an emotional point as well, because, you know, they're both accepting that Prim is gone, and it was just such a powerful moment, not only in the movie, but definitely in the book as well. So I really appreciated that they didn't gloss over that part. And speaking of emotional Kat, I've heard some things from certain people saying that apparently they see Katniss as a bad person. And I'd like to touch on that because honestly, I've never seen her as a bad person. She was a person put in a very difficult, if not impossible situation, and she did what she had to survive. Hell, she got Peeta out with her, which no other victor had ever done. She did it for her sister. She was selfless in saving her sister. You know, I mean, and furthermore, you know, people that are bad don't do that. And also the fact that one word, rue, bad people don't do that. So mic drop on that one, because I don't think she's a bad person. And anyone that says she is, I don't understand that at all. But that's my opinion. You know, hey, to each their own. Also, I had to say that the one thing that I did notice that they did add in the movie that was not in the book was at the end when Haymitch and Effie had their little kiss. And you know what? I loved that. I know it wasn't in the book, but I loved that. That is one of those add-ons that I'll allow it. That was awesome. Honestly, this movie really shocked me with how well they did it. Overall, I'm very pleased. And that ending, doing the ending and the epilogue was just so beautiful. And they wrapped this up all nice and neat with a pretty bow. And they did an amazing job. I feel they did justice to the books, to the series. And the actors did a phenomenal job. It was definitely hard to see Finnick go. It was hard in the book to read that, you know, and Boggs, and, you know, just seeing it on the screen it was hard all over again. We love these characters, but they really did an amazing job. They did a great job on this movie, and I know this video ran a little long, so I apologize, but seriously, yeah, Mockingjay Part 2, thumbs up. It was awesome. Go see it. And if you can read the books, if you haven't, I say go for it too, because it brings such another level of enjoyment for these movies. It really does. So yeah, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe. Until next time.